Hello and welcome to Heart, Mind, and Mechanics Business Coaching. This is a playlist on the Career Woman to Business Owner channel. And welcome. I'm so glad to have you here watching this particular video. Now, if you are a career woman who's been in corporate America for a while, or in a small business where you have a reputation, you're doing things really well, you have a career path, and you're making, reasonable money, but you're not really expressing what you want to get out into the world. You're not able to really use your talent to the fullest. You're not able to bounce it about in the morning, really excited to be doing what you're doing, really anxious to get into work and get things done because you're providing something that is so meaningful for you. If you're in that situation where this is really not fulfilling you anymore. Maybe it did in the past, but you've grown and you're just not able to use all the skills that you have in your job. You're not being recognized perhaps, or there's any number of reasons why you may be thinking, I'm just not happy in what I'm doing. And you're starting to think about, gee, what would it be like to be my own boss? Would I really want to do that? Then my question to you is, what's holding you back? Now, there may be any number of things that could be holding you back, and we're going to address some of them in this video, and then we're going to talk a little bit about what you do. And then later on in this series of videos, we're going to be going through each one in a little bit more depth. So stay tuned. But in this one, I just want to give you a quick overview so that if you are starting to think about, gee, I wonder if I should be my own boss, and you're starting to get really stressed when you think about that, then let's go through this, and hopefully by the time we're end this series, you're going to be in a position to say, yep, it's my time. Let's go do this. Okay, so I'm just going to bring up a slide that I think will probably make this a little easier to follow. So what's holding you back from being your own boss? Well, the first thing really could be, what would you do? Now, I remember years ago when I was leaving corporate America. I had been in corporate America for many years, probably many years too long, if truth be told. I should have gone out and become an entrepreneur long before I did. But as I was leaving, there was somebody that I was chatting to, and I asked him, why aren't you leaving as well? Why aren't you taking this opportunity to just get out on your own and do things? And what he told me really had me sit back and wonder. What he said is, I don't know what I would do if I left. So that may be something that you're really wondering about. If you left your corporate job or your small business job that you're doing right now, what would you do? Well, what that tells me is you're wondering, what do you have to offer to the world that they would be willing to pay you for? Now, if you've been through my previous series where we ask the 5 questions that you need to answer before you start your business, then one of the things that we go through after we determine why it is that you want to start your own business is basically, where's your superpower? What is it that you can do better than anybody else that they don't want to do, or they think actually can't be done? What is it that you do? And so if you don't know what you would do if you left your job, then go through that series of 5 questions, and it's going to help you to figure that out. And of course, as we go through this series, we're going to talk about that a little bit more. So that's usually the first thing that comes to mind is, if I started my own business, what would I do? What could I offer people that they would be willing to take out their wallets and pay me for? Now, the next question is, am I credible? Like, would people really want to buy from me? Well, that tells me that perhaps you don't have a lot of confidence in what you do. Now, chances are, if you're in a job where you're being well paid and you're being recognized, maybe you've got some degree of credibility in that company, but you may not have a lot of confidence that you can transfer that out into a business that you own, that you build, that you run. And so that's one of the things that we're going to tackle in a video as well. So, am I credible? And if you don't feel that way, how do you get past that so that you really can bring your brilliance out to the world? Next question is, how would I fund it? Right? if I have some golden handcuffs on, and let's face it, if you've been in corporate America for a while, you probably have some good corporate handcuffs. Uh, you might be wondering, well, how would I fund it? Well, there are a number of ways that you can start a business, and it doesn't have to be that you leave your job and you only have a little bit of money in an IRA or something else that you can use to fund your business. So there are other ways that you can do this, and we're going to talk about that in another video as well. So that's one of the questions that usually comes up. How would I fund it? And then lastly, where would I get the time, right? I'm working so hard on my job, and then when I come home, I've got my family to look after. Where would I actually get the time? Now, this really comes back to making choices. A lot of times people say, well, I don't have a choice. I have to do this or I have to do that. And that's actually not the case. Everything that we do involves a choice. And it really comes down to, if you've gone through the other three questions and you've really decided that being your own boss is something that you really want to do, then you can find the time. And we'll talk about how you would go about doing that. So those are the four things that I see that really come up most often when we talk about starting your own business. And I'm talking about a business where you decide on the product or the service that you're going to offer. I'm not talking about a network marketing opportunity, for example, and I have nothing against network marketing. I have a great deal of respect for that particular industry. But what I'm talking about is if you have a product or a service that you want to bring to the world and it's your own, you want to build your own business, you want to own all the intellectual property, you want to be the person, then let's talk about how we get you started. So I'm going to be going through these 4 questions in a next series of videos. And if you think that you might like to start your own business, you are a career person, you've been in corporate America or in a small business long enough, you really want to get out there and start your own company, be your own boss, make your own decisions, but you need some support, you need some help, then let's talk. All you need to do is go to www.wendybyford.com/explore, and let's see what it is that you need. Let's see where you are, where you're trying to go, and whether or not there's something that I can do to help you. The call will take probably somewhere between 30 and 45 minutes, and we can decide whether or not I have something that will help you and whether or not you would actually be a good fit as a client for me. No obligation. Let's just see what it is that's going on, and maybe I can give you a couple of tips to get you started. So I'll see you in the next video, and by the time we're finished, you can determine what's holding you back and what to do about it. Take care, everyone.